All right, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to your January 2024 fundraising update with New. Let's get into it. Just to remind y'all of what we're up to over here at New, our mission is to inspire and equip mission-driven people, organizations, and communities to realize their visions of a just and thriving society. And our own vision is one of a Southeast Michigan full of empowered leaders, flourishing organizations, and vibrant communities. That's what we are working towards. My name is Will Jones III. I'm the Director of Communications and Contributions here at New. Also on my team is Jessica Cunha, who is our Communications and Contributions Coordinator. So if you're talking to either one of us about a donation or anything like that, you're in the right place. So as a reminder, this is what we're going to cover in today's update. We're going to go through where we're going, a reminder of our goals for the fiscal year, where we've been, some reflections on last month and Q2, including lessons learned, how we're going to hope to get there from here, how we're going to hope to achieve our goal from here, some strategies and plans, a reminder of what's guiding us, and of course, how you can help. But before we get into any of that, I've got to give some love to all the folks that supported us in December. Thank you so much for your contributions, folks. It really does make a difference. All of these people, all these names that you see are folks in our community who have donated to News Grassroots campaign in December. And so we are so grateful to have you all alongside us in this work and in this journey. Thank you again. All right, so just a reminder, if you've been with us for the fiscal year, our goal for the fiscal year in contributions, our general operating goal is $730,000. I can't speak clearly this morning. $730,000. And we're approaching that, from a diversified funding perspective, right? The majority of our funds we're hoping to bring through in foundation grants. And again, that's kind of based on where we've been in the past. Historically, New is a heavily grant funded organization, but we're trying to shift that a little bit, right? We're trying to create more balance across the pie, make each slice a little bit more equal to the others as much as we can. And we're trying to do that in a realistic time frame. So, not shifting too much each year, but trying to do what's possible given the community that we're working with and the reality of where everyone's at. So that's the goal for our, general operations. This is the money that supports all of our programs, our managed services and bookkeeping and IT, making sure that nonprofits across Southeast Michigan have access to that infrastructure and system support that they need in order to do their work, as well as the money that upkeeps and maintains the new center. So these dollars help us to offset the true cost of renting office space and conference rooms from our many affiliates and nonprofit peers that rent space at the new center. So that's what all of this money goes to support, right? The real programs and services that we're doing right now today. We also have a goal for the new center transformation. And if you're just hearing about the new center transformation, please, poke around on our website. There's a whole button for it right there at the top navigation bar. But this is our plan to renovate the new center, right? We really want to transform it, make it this lighthouse for social justice work across our region, a place to bring people a place to bring people together across sectors and industries. So not just talking about folks in nonprofits, but social enterprise, governments and municipalities. How are we all coming together to solve these complex problems that our community faces, because we know that we can't do it alone. So the majority of our strategy for this year has been attempting to bring in major gifts for the new center transformation. And that's a bit of an uphill climb for us, to say the least. But based off of other things that we've explored, like government grants, foundation grants, really feeling like the people in our community are the best shot at bringing together the resources that we need to make this project happen. So we got a $10 million goal there. for the new center transformation. And if you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out. We'd love to talk to you more about it. So where are we at? Where did December put us, right? Um, our December contributions goals for our general operating was about $13,484. What we ended up with was $4,900, so quite a bit lower than what we were aiming for there. And then the same thing with the new center transformation. Obviously, that's a much bigger project. We have much bigger goals there. But we really didn't make much traction in December there at all. We continue to, well, I'll tell you all about that in a moment. I'll tell you all about that in a moment. So this is just where the numbers landed for December, right? And then looking at the total of Q2, which for us is October, November, December. Um, we had the cumulative goals in our general operating for about $30,000. We ended up with just shy of $10,000, so about a third of the way to that goal. And then for the new center transformation, we had a goal of just under $100,000. Yeah, $100,000. These numbers in me today, man. Oof. And we brought in $210 from the new center transformation. So, oh, and there's a typo on here. My apologies. That should say Q2 actuals. I will tighten that up before we send the slide deck out. Um, so this is where the numbers landed, y'all. There's some discrepancies there um, between them, and where it puts us is really about 19% of the way to meeting our G&A goal for the fiscal year. And again, I'm focusing on that number because this is the one that supports all of the work that you all really know us for doing today, right? It's our consulting service and making sure that that's that we're able to offer that at an affordable rate for our nonprofit clients and peers, which means that, we're kind of discounting the true cost of those services with contributions. So I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment, just so I can see y'all. This is a difficult, fundraising update for me to give y'all. It is hard to get up here and be in front of you all. I can like feel it in my body right now. How, for lack of a better word, embarrassing it is to be so far behind so deeply in this year. And it's not for a lack of trying. I promise you, our team is doing all the things that we know how to do in order to try and bring in these funds. We are reaching out to foundation partners on the national scale, as well as folks here in Michigan and in Southeast Michigan to support our work. We're trying to expand the number of folks and the folks that are in our community, bring in folks who have the ability to make those major gifts alongside expanding the grassroots pool of folks that we work alongside who are able to contribute at a meaningful level for them to this work, because we know how much it means to you all. And we're falling short right now, and that is, yeah, it's really rough. And so, I think it's important that we are transparent with you all, because this is the reality, and where we're at determines the products and the programs and the services that we support you all with. So I don't want us to be in June, a month before our fiscal year closes, and for folks to be like, hey, like, where are we at? What does this mean? And all that. It's important to me that y'all know where we're at along the way, and we're going to continue to practice this kind of transparency with you all, hopefully, forever as new exists. But that doesn't make it any easier for me to get up here as the director of this, approach and program, to get up here and tell y'all that we're not hitting it. So I appreciate y'all for rocking with us and for taking the time to view this update, and just wanted to keep it human with you, because that's who we are here at New. So, yeah. with all right, so that's the reality. That's where we're at. Let me get back into it and share a little bit more about like what we've learned and what we're going to do um, to kind of, close that gap. So reflections on Q2, what didn't go as planned, right? We decided not to do a collaborative fundraising event. We were going to do an event with Black Men Read, one of our sponsored projects and an organization that we love here in the community. And then just based on the community response, the timing wasn't right. We needed a little bit of a longer, I think, on-ramp to make that event a success. And so instead of doing a fundraising event, we pivoted and we did a community building event, right? And we're going to continue to do these. But we had our first mission driven meetup, an opportunity. It was basically like a happy hour type event, just an opportunity to connect with the other people that you know in the sector and folks that you might want to meet in the sector. So we're going to keep doing that and create these opportunities for folks to continue to get to know each other, strengthen the new community and the network there. Um, we're continuing to have a similar response from, foundation program officers as we were in Q1. Quite a bit of, our outreach is going unanswered, whether that be emails, phone calls, trying to connect with folks through different LinkedIn connections, create those warm introductions instead of just cold calling. We're having some folks that are not interested in new because of our geography, even though they may have funded organizations that are in Southeast Michigan in the past. A lot of our peers, you all, might have gotten funding from these foundations, but maybe they've changed their scope or focus for right now, narrowed in, and others are just not funding new grantees right now. So between that combination of things, there have been a few who have gotten back to us, but unfortunately, nothing has moved forward in the sense there. And, our team has a prospecting list of over 140 foundations that we've been looking into, and continue to add to that list, and, obviously remove folks when it's not a good match. But we're really out here looking for these partnerships and those relationships, and we just can't quite make that connection. Another thing that didn't quite go as planned, we did a feasibility study for the new center transformation with Russell's Communications Group, and didn't really end up with any of the strong leads on prospective donors that we had really hoped for coming out of that work. So, we're still kind of building that list up from the ground. And of course, if you know folks that you think might be interested in the new center transformation, please connect us with them because we'd be happy to share more about the project, bring them up to speed, and really kind of see what a good partnership like there could look like. And then finally, we put in this community centers grant for a couple $1 million to help make the new center transformation possible. We think we've got a really strong case just based off the work that we already do and the work that we're trying to do at the new center going forward. But the state continues to move the deadline for a response back to us on that. And it sounds like just the number of folks that applied for that grant is making it a little bit more of a cumbersome process than they anticipated. Nevertheless, we are not giving up hope that the new center transformation will get some of those dollars, because again, we think we've got a lot to offer there and are doing something pretty unique in terms of like what a community center has to offer here. So that's what didn't go as planned. Here's some things that went well. We've received great feedback about that first mission driven meetup, right? The event that we hosted in December. So we're looking forward to holding another one in March and, getting to connect with more of you all at that opportunity. I'm just going to say at the last one, we had cookies, so you might want to come through. It was a great time. We did get one unexpected gift of $1,000. So, again, when we're looking at that grassroots campaign, that goes a long way because for us, a grassroots gift is anything from like $10 to $5,000. So $1,000 Means a lot. Thank you so much to the folks who made that contribution. We brought in one new recurring donor, which is great. We love to, bring more folks into that kind of um, relationship of providing a grassroots gift, right? Something that is meaningful, but hopefully allows you all to support us in a kind of more sustained way. And then folks are continuing to reach out and share their positive impressions about how we're going through this uh, approach to fundraising, going about this work. So if you're one of those people, thank you so much. It really does mean a lot. Obviously, in the face of those numbers that I was sharing before, to know that folks are at least resonating with our approach and the values that are behind that, it goes a long way. So thank you so much if you're one of the folks who've reached out with those comments and that love. It means a lot, and I appreciate you. And then finally, what are some of the lessons that we've learned, right, through quarter two? So the feasibility study reminded us we don't need to wait for the transformation project to like kick off and renovations and all that jazz for us to begin bringing community together in the ways that we hope they will once the space is renovated, right? We really need to be planting those seeds now. And so that's what we're doing. So you'll see more programming coming through at the news center in a couple of different ways, and we hope that you'll connect and join us there for some of those things. Another lesson learned, we need to build stronger relationships with the business community in our region, right? A lot of folks know about new, but if you're not in the social sector, we're kind of the best kept secret that nonprofits have, right? So we'd like to break out of that mold and make sure that we're really connecting with a lot of the mission-driven entrepreneurs and business leaders that our community has. And so that's something we're going to be working on in the months ahead. And then finally, I kind of mentioned how we've been getting stonewalled by a lot of folks that we've been reaching out to begin new funding relationships and things like that, to even explore new funding relationships, right? Not necessarily telling them like, hey, give us money off the rip. Um, but it's not hitting. And so we can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. It's time to switch it up, time for new ideas, new strategies, and perspectives. So what are we going to do? What is that taking us towards? Across that diversified approach that we were talking about before when we looked at the pie chart, right? It's time for some different strategies, but our team doesn't know what we don't know. We're all kind of still pretty early, with the exception of Yodi, in this fundraising world. There are people who are, doing fundraising and things like that have been doing it for decades. We're not some of those folks. So what can we try? We're calling in some help, forming a new group. We're calling these people our resource mobilization ambassadors, our RMAs. That's a mouthful, but really, this is a diverse group, intergenerational, interracial, intergender, all kinds of beautiful things that are representative of folks from across our various constituencies. And what we're really asking them to do is to help us inform and implement some of this next chapter of our fundraising and communications activities. So there's folks in this group that are new board members, some of our donors, some of our clients and participants. We've got some funders and people in philanthropy in there, and then we have some general supporters, maybe folks who don't give on the financial level, but who contribute to new in other ways and have been connecting folks with us in the community. Um, and we're asking them to offer that insight, make the introductions, go out and connect with folks in community alongside us to help shift the tide in our fundraising going forward. So um, we had our first meeting last night, actually, on Thursday, the 25th, and it was really energizing to hear all of the different excitement, to see the faces of the folks that are like really energized to help us be successful in this arena. So try out some new stuff and to hopefully connect with some folks that we're not really reaching right now. So very excited to be working with them over the next several months to really catalyze our work and mobilize some resources. If you have any questions about this, feel free to reach out. If you are somebody who's like, oh man, I actually would love to be an RMA and we didn't reach out to you, please feel free to get in touch with us. This is, an ongoing relationship that we imagine will fortify us for years to come. So there will be opportunities for folks, if you're not an RMA now, to get into the mix. And we really would love to, know if you're excited or interested or curious about joining this group. So we'll have more to come, based off of like what this group helps us illuminate and identify. Oh, sorry, y'all. It just went boom. Just jumped all the way ahead through the slide deck. So those are our strategies and plans. What's guiding us? We're continuing to stay rooted in our fundraising manifesto, right? All of these things are still true. And again, just uplifting, like, the transparency is why we do these updates. We're going to share power, right? That's us bringing in these RMAs, helping to give them some decision-making power back into our community for how we show up. And again, learning and changing as we go. This is what we are doing. This is what we are trying to practice in between these updates is, how do we pivot? What needs to change in order for us to really bring in the dollars that we need to sustain our work? So if you have any questions about this, you can read more about our fundraising manifesto on our website. But otherwise, you can feel free to reach out if you have any questions or concerns. And then just a reminder of like what's at stake. Look at those beautiful faces. Um, it's our programming, right? The contributions that you all help us bring in support and make programs like Champions for Change, which is literally changing people's lives year after year. They make this possible. You all know, how constrained our organizations can be, right? The nonprofit and social sector can be a little tight at times, even though we know that there are abundant resources out there. If they're not flowing into our organizations, that can make it tough. So your contributions help us make our programming accessible at the levels that the leaders of our communities need, that the organizations of our communities need in order to participate and engage, while also keeping them at that high level of investment and service that New has come to be known for. Uh, you know, the ability to take our Champions for Change to Idlewild, Michigan, historic resort for Black people in the 20th century, and then to kind of reclaim some of that space to get grounded in our roots and have this experience to connect with one another out in nature, away from kind of the hustle and bustle, grounded in what makes us leaders. Like, that isn't a unique opportunity that no one else is providing, and we can't do it without your help. So we really appreciate you all getting involved. And here is how you can help. Tell your friends about New. We mentioned that's going to be something the RMAs are doing, but you don't have to be an RMA in order to help evangelize or serve it as ambassador for our work. If you know somebody in the social sector, help make us not a secret, and get connected with those folks. We're always open for tips. Again, that's, the guidance is invaluable. So reach out with that, and about what's worked well for you all in the fundraising in your life, right? Maybe it's not even something that another organ like that your organization has done. Maybe it's something that you, as a, member of the community, have seen another organization do, and it really got you excited and inspired to, engage and contribute to their work. Share that with us. We're here for it. It doesn't have to just be things that your org has done. So feel free to reach out there. And then, of course, if you haven't already, pledge a monthly gift to our grassroots campaign. We're asking for gifts of $10 a month or more. And if you can give at that $10 level, if you can only give at that $10 level, please know that it's still a very meaningful contribution to us. And we'll put your name up on that slide at the beginning of next month as well. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out. I'm going to stop sharing again just to say thank you again for rocking through, this year with us. Thank you for all your support as we, navigate this kind of difficult time in the social sector. And thank you so much for all of, the work that you all are doing in our communities, because working alongside you all is what makes us so impactful and powerful. And so we appreciate you. If you have, again, any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I hope you have a great weekend and look forward to seeing you with hopefully some better news next month. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Take care.